Show. Hello. It's the Chatty Paula Show.
We will talk about the things that mean so much to you, like going to a restaurant or hanging at the zoo. Clothes and sports and funny news, crafts and travel too. Nothing ever scripted, so expect the unexpected.
Hello. It's the Chatty Paula Show. It's the Chatty Paula Show. It's the Chatty Paula Show.
Hi, everyone. Welcome and thank you for being here. It's Tuesday, November 16th, 2023. Our guest today is from Radio Cobra Detroit and calling all the way from Maryland. Welcome, Greg St. James.
Yay!
Well, welcome, Patty, or hello to you both, Paula and Patty. It's so nice to be on the show. I've been a fan for a long time. You know that? Because I think that you guys, yeah, I like things that aren't the same old crapola, and you guys ain't the same old crapola.
We are not.
Well, thank you. I could probably say the same thing about you, too.
Well, yeah, people have said they forgot not the part of that sentence, but yeah, no, it's Radio Cobra Detroit is the best radio not on the radio because we say so, but that's like our current project. And Patty, you and I go back a million years back to
We do.
WRIF.
Well, tell us first about Radio Cobra Detroit.
All right. Well, Radio Cobra Detroit I'll tell you how it started. You know, I've been in D.C. for the last 23 years, working on Capitol Hill after my radio career in Detroit. And I started 89X with some other people there. And Scott Brown was instrumental in that. And I was sitting in the lobby a couple years ago of the Shinola Hotel in downtown Detroit, thinking to myself, you know, we need something as cool to listen to as this hotel. Something, I mean, I'm wearing a Shinola watch. I love the brand. Something that is Detroit that we can take to the world a little bit, because we've known the secret forever. You know,
Detroit rocks.
You know, Detroit rocks, and it's a great town. It's a good. There are people from Detroit all over the world. There are people all over the world that want to be attached to Detroit. And that was kind of the idea of Radio Cobra Detroit. And, you know, honestly, what do I need a transmitter for? Do you need channel 7 or channel 4 to do this show? No, you don't. The interwebs have allowed us to do something different. So that's what we're doing. We launched, on Memorial Day, and you can get it at RadioCobraDetroit.com. We have an app you can download where you get your apps, Apple App Store or Google Play. You have to type in Radio Cobra Detroit. It's free. And we've got, in addition to myself, we have my wife, who is also our operations manager, Jennifer St. James, has done a great job with the music. She's a younger person, so she gets some of the music that
the beautiful Jennifer St. James. Yeah.
Well, she's better looking than me, that's for damn sure. Then we have Chuck Santoni, who you might remember from Chuck and I worked together at ABX, and he's still in the area, and he does our midday and X-Files show. So he kind of takes people back weekdays to that music, that classic rock stuff. Greg Gnipp from 89X doing afternoons. Kerry Bertrand has been involved, instrumental with us. A guy named DJ Jamie does our Hot Tub Saturday Night, which kind of same vibe as Chatty Patty and all that kind of stuff. It's just a crazy hot tub show.
I love it.
And then we have John Bomaredo from Ann Arbor Way is now doing an acoustic alternative Sunday show at 9 in the morning on Sunday, kind of your acoustic guitar vibe. And I'm sure I'm leaving somebody. I've got Ron Robinson and Bruce Kahn do the morning show with me, Morning Cobra, which is kind of like Morning Joe if Mika and Joe were punk rockers and smoked a lot of dope. You would end up with our morning show, I think. So, it's free.
Your Facebook page says that you celebrate Detroit music and attitude. Do you think all these people are bringing in the Detroit attitude?
Oh, I think there's a fair amount of attitude. Yeah, it's snake, rattle, and roll, baby. It's like, it got a little swag. And we do play soul. I mean, part of what drove me nuts, still does, about terrestrial rock stations, and I came out of the rock world as did you all, was this idea that we have to only play white music because we're white guys. That's bullshit. May I say that? You know, particularly if you're from Detroit. This is Motown.
Bullshit.
You know, let's play some funk. Woo! Let's have something with a little bit of soul. And so we mix it up. And it really is, when I was trying to figure out what this is, and we play a pretty wide range of music. But if 89X had continued at least along the sort of trajectory that we had in mind initially, I think it went. I wish I would have signed a 30-year contract. I signed a 2-year deal when I started it because I didn't think it would last. I thought, who the hell's going to listen to this shit forever? I'll just do 2 years, right?
Me.
Yeah, well, I know, hello, but I was stupid and I was, I'll just do this. But anyway, when it finally did go away, that's when we really started thinking about doing this. And we thought, well, what might it look like in the 21st century? What's the next gen? In fact, Jennifer's show at night, it's called the Next Gen Night Service with Jen. And then when she does a 90s
I
at
like
9
it.
show
With
too,
Jen.
takes you back to the 90s every weeknight and plays some, Nirvana and all this cool 90s bands. So it really is, and I think that we are, like you guys are, we're exploring sort of that internet space, and we're doing this thing where we don't have to be locked into, a rigid, how far will the signal get, and does it change when you get past sundown? And if you got one of these things, let me hold this up.
You're
You
worldwide,
can take,
baby.
yeah,
Right?
we'll rock your world anywhere around the world. So that's all you need is one of these deals, or any kind of connection. The app works pretty
Anybody
well.
can do it. Anybody
Yeah.
can do it.
So you were really driven by just sharing the Detroit vibe with others.
Well, I wanted a radio station I could listen to, so I had to make my own. Honestly, that's kind of what it is. Because
Play whatever you want.
Yeah, well, I get back home quite a bit, and Jennifer's there a lot. But I know,
Right, because let's remind everybody that you're in Maryland right now, and
I am.
you must.
I'm in a suburb of DC, and part of our morning show we do we do hyper local Utica news. We cover everything to do with Utica because Ron lives there, and then I do DC news. So it's never, is there a scandal in Washington? Does the day end with Y? So
I know.
yeah. In fact, that
What
was my
is the
idea
news
for
daily scandal?
today's scandal is George Santos, who the ethics report came out. This guy, I mean, I don't know what you know, but if you run for city council and you raise money, I donate money. You can't use it for your personal use. You have to use it for your campaign. You can print
Right.
flyers, you can hold rallies, you can buy TV commercials, do whatever you want. George Santos raised money. He had an OnlyFans subscription, which the kids tell me is, hanky spanky stuff going on there. He was taking trips. He was buying expensive luggage, doing anything but what you're allowed to do. So I think they're going to
But
boo
that's
him.
the kind of stuff your radio show talks about now.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And so you're really up on politics and music. Is there anything in between there that you
The Lions. We talk about
visit?
the Lions. And
Go
the Wings
Lions.
A lot. Yeah, go Lions. I mean, I've been waiting, as have we all, my entire life. And it's finally a team that maybe,
lot of us.
I'm a little worried because I made a deal with the Almighty, with the universe, years ago. I said, just let me live long enough to see the Lions win a Super Bowl. So I'd like to see them get to the Super Bowl, but if they don't quite win, that's fine. I'm not ready to go yet. So that was my agreement with the powers that be.
That would be pretty fantastic. I just got to ask you, do you
Yeah.
eat Maryland blue crab ever?
Oh
Isn't
yeah,
that a
Yeah,
thing?
what are some-
baby.
Is it good?
In Maryland? Well, yeah, it's the best. It really is. If you don't like seafood, this would not be the place for you. And where I live is kind of
Jealous.
akin to if you think of like downtown Detroit, and if you were up in, let's say, Troy, right, to downtown Detroit, that's kind of where I am to Capitol Hill. And for 20 years, I commuted every day. Now I get to, since the pandemic, I do a lot of work from the home studio, and I was working full time at C-SPAN doing voiceovers. And now I freelance for them. I didn't want to do it full time anymore. I had all the fun I could handle after 20 years of that. Jon Stewart once said I was the disembodied voice of C-SPAN. I thought I'll put that on my resume. That sounds pretty.
Yeah, on the
Well,
book.
it's fun. It
on
was
your
a
book
front
cover.
row seat to the circus. Is really what it is.
Well, where did your radio career start?
A good question. Actually, it's very interesting that the guy that just started doing our acoustic alternative show, he and I share. We both started at WPHS at Cosno High School. I was years before he was, but I went to Charles Mott in Warren. I grew up in Warren, and then they didn't have a radio station there, but they had one at Cosno. So they let me take, I think it was like 3 days a week. I rode the bus. I got to go over there and play around on the radio. This was 1971, maybe 72.
I think they still have a station there.
I think they do. Yeah.
I love those high school radio
I
stations.
think well, we used to call it the Wonder Station. It's a wonder you can hear it outside of the parking lot because I think we had all at 10 watts and 2 hamsters. But I learned the basics. There was a guy, he's long since gone, a guy named Charles Lampinen, who was the instructor, and he taught me how to say W. and the rest was I kind of got the hook. And then I will tell you another story. You want to hear the story how I got to be a disc jockey? I do. I've
Yeah.
told this before, but not to you. I was 16 years old, so this would have been 1971 or two. And I was thinking maybe because my mother was kind of wanting me to be a Catholic priest, right? We're Catholics. So I went they had this long weekend at Sacred Heart Major Seminary for young men that were thinking about the priesthood. And the guy that they stuck in my room, and he doesn't mind me telling the story, is a guy named Dan Carlisle, who was a disc jockey on WABX. And I thought, how cool is this? And we ended up, neither Dan nor I, he's older than I am. He's probably 10 years older, became priest, but he ended up teaching me a little bit about the business. We drove around downtown Detroit drinking brandy, talking about ABX. And years later, I became a jock on ABX. So I tell people I went to the seminary to become a DJ. My mother was not impressed. But
Play
I don't think it would have
music.
worked out with me in Holy Mother Church anyway. There were a couple rules I didn't quite
So are you
agree
always
with.
trying to control the playlist everywhere you go?
I don't control the Radio Cobra playlist at all. No.
Oh, right.
I
Your
mean,
wife does,
no.
doesn't she?
Yeah,
You
and
guys show up
it's
at a
like
party and you tell everyone this is what we're listening
No.
to.
I don't want to listen
Hit
to
the
this.
dance floor.
I never did. That was really not my interest. Like, and people would always say things, say, "Can you say something in your radio voice?" I go, "This is my radio voice, you moron." I'm not doing anything fake.
So I
But
have a question.
our playlist is really wide ranging, and if any of our people want to add stuff, we just put it in. So, yeah, go
I have a
ahead.
question. Back when you were doing the radio station at the high school and stuff, you were playing
Yeah.
actual albums and things, right?
We're playing vinyl, yeah, man. We're like reaching behind
Yeah.
you, doing the slip cue,
So
all that. Yeah.
when that all switched over to what? What did it switch over to?
The
Did everyone have to
CDs.
go
CDs.
back to school and figure it all out?
Well,
Okay,
no,
CDs, but now it's not
I'll,
CDs
I'll
anymore.
tell you.
It's
Now it's all just the computer just plays it. Yeah. When
it's
we first went to
crazy.
CDs at Riff, and Arthur, Patty knows Arthur P. And we were all there at the same time. And I remember it was probably a couple months after they first installed CD players. And you had a left one and a right one. So one would be on the air and the other one you would queue up. Same as we had more turntables, but same idea. A, B, A, B. And I walked in the studio one day and there's Art. And you really can't tell by looking at it which one is on. It was with the turntables, you could see which one has a needle down. Oh, don't touch that. That's going on the air. And Art's going, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which one is it? And of course, the one he pressed was one on there. Turned up. He goes, "Shit, I screwed up, Greg." And we would walk around all day doing Arthur P. impersonations there. Well, that's right. And but it took some getting used to. And then now it's all just, it's basically Spotify with 13 minutes of carpet store commercials, as far as I can tell. I gave up on trust.
Are you listening to any new music? What
Yeah.
young musicians do you support?
Well, we try and play as much Detroit stuff as we can. So we're doing, obviously, I mean, it's a part of an homage to the Detroit Cobras. That was part of why we named it Radio Cobra. And plus, I always always liked Shelby Cobras. So it's just cool. Snakes are cool. They're rock and roll. Some radio guy, some really traditional radio guy asked me when we were launching it, well, why are you naming it after a snake? I said, why does Keith Richards dress like a frickin' pirate? It's rock and roll, man. He doesn't actually have a pirate ship. You know that, right, dude? People just
Wasn't that Johnny
don't
Depp? No.
Also,
well, Johnny Depp was riffing on Keith Richards, the Keith. So yeah, we're playing like Johnny B. We're playing gosh,
does
we're
he have
playing.
a new
We'll play.
album? Or-
He's got a new song, "Wake Up Sleepyhead." I don't know if it's an album or not, but we're playing that.
Okay.
We ask people to send us their stuff. We're working on a homeboy show, working on a blues show. We have we're playing a lot of we're playing like the new Stones, playing Maneskin, the Italian band.
Oh,
Foo
I love
Fighters, all
them.
that stuff. Yeah. So and some artists I can't even pronounce. They're just like, hey, what is this? It's new. Okay, play it. So we're bringing some things from Europe. My old girlfriend Nikki runs a promotion company in London and sends us stuff. She used to work with New Order, so got a little connection there. So I'm using any connection I got. I've been in this. I'm getting old. I've been doing this stuff for like 52 years, so might as well call in a couple of chips, right?
Yeah,
And for
right.
someone
You have been
who's
at it a while.
barely 40 years old, that's amazing. How did I squeeze it all in? Right?
Paula is dying to ask you about being an EMT.
Oh, all right, yeah.
I didn't, when I saw that, when I was researching you a little bit, I'm EMT. I'm like, does it stand for something, or is like he really an EMT? So you're really an EMT?
Yeah,
You get to go
yeah.
through like red lights with the siren on and everything?
Well, I don't ride anymore. I did 14 years on the street in Rockville, which is an appropriate place for me to work, I suppose. I did go back to Rockville. I still teach. I still work
Isn't that
for
a
the fire
song?
department. Yeah, that
Don't
is a
come
song.
back to
The
Rockville.
Rockville. Yeah.
Have you
Yeah,
ever
I
given
still
anyone stitches?
EMTs
Snit,
don't.
did
We
you
don't
give a
do
snitch a
stitches.
stitch?
Yeah, I've wanted to once or twice. No, EMTs, we don't do stitches, but it was I still teach. I teach CPR, teach civilians how to aim a fire extinguisher at the fire, stuff like that. And I did 14 years on the street till I blew my shoulder out lifting a patient.
Do you
And going
drive
through red
ambulance
lights
around?
was the most. What's that?
Are you the drive? Do you listen to Radio Cobra Detroit while you're driving around the ambulance?
Well, no, you couldn't. Well, when I used to drive, we did have radios. You could listen to FM in the ambulance, although we weren't allowed to listen to it. We weren't supposed to if we were actually on a call. You were supposed to pay attention to what you were doing. But yeah, I drove an ambulance for a while. I tell you what, Detroit traffic is bad. DC traffic is worse. People don't give a shit. They don't get out of your way. We would lean on the air horn, the siren, the
Paula
lights.
was just
and
telling
stuff.
me a story today about someone.
Some guy was driving in front of an ambulance, lights blaring, siren going. He was going really slow. The ambulance was right up on his butt, literally for 6 blocks. I pulled over, rolled my window down, started honking and hanging out the window going, "Stop! Do you not see what's behind you?"
Well,
was
I had
really angry.
there's a captain that
She's
I
very
used to
angry.
ride with. A very cool guy, and he was like the most chill. I mean, he was like Captain Studley. He was like, won medals
Oh,
and shit. This guy
Can we
was
get him
like,
on the show?
yeah, I'll ask him anyway. But you never saw this guy got riled up. I mean, he was like the example of, okay, man, we have to stay cool. And I'm like, wow, how do you do that, dude? So I'm driving him one Sunday morning. I'm the driver. He's sitting next to me, and we're going to a call. And there's somebody right in front of us doing that same thing. And I'm hitting the lights and the siren and the horn. All of a sudden I look, he's got his ass halfway out the window, hanging on the roof, screaming at this guy, "Get the F out of the fire!" It's like, dude, I think you've lost your shit. So I realized he was human too, made me feel better. But it's just people they're I don't know, what are they doing? They're shaving, they're
You probably would
texting,
see
they're
the
eating a
worst of
donut.
people. You'd see the worst
See
of people when they're
on their worst
panicking and
days. You see
yeah.
people on their worst day.
You know what? I
for
went
us,
to my doctor's office one time and I took a thank you note to the lady at the front desk. And I
you're
said,
so
I just feel like you always see me at my worst. And I want you to know that I really appreciate all your help. She cried.
that's really nice.
I
of
spelled
you.
her name wrong though, but whatever.
Should have made some
Well,
cookies.
I
nobody calls
recommend
me-
more people do stuff like that because,
Nobody calls
like I say,
911 because
they see you at their worst. Your worst.
It's a thankless
yeah,
job.
nobody calls 911 because they're having a great day. Hey, things are great. Come on over, have some
Hi,
cookies.
just want to say hi.
Yeah,
Come over and
that
party
never
with me.
happened. No, they call for all
Especially
kinds of
Dr.
really
Studley.
Yeah, well, he's married. Sorry, honey.
So am I.
But, well, then it's fine. I think you get a
Yeah.
pass if you're both. Yeah, okay. But yeah, there were a lot, and that's true everywhere. I have friends all around the country that do this stuff. And I started doing it because of 9/11. That I'd moved to Washington like less than a year before, and that happened. I wanted to give back. I wanted to do something. And I realized I was a little old, and my wife said, "You're not going to join the paratroopers, dummy." So I saw they were recruiting people, and they pay for the training, and so spent a year or so in school. And
Well, thank you for your service. That's
yeah, it was
very
fun.
honorable.
It was fun, except for the the weirdos. And I will tell you the one I can tell the stories all night. But my favorite weirdo story, and there are a lot
Weirdo
of them.
story.
I love weirdos.
Oh, everybody's got them. This guy, it was 3 a.m. because it's always 3 a.m. It's not going to be 1 p.m. Called 911. His complaint, because you have to tell him why are you calling, was his toe hurts. So we go over there, and of course
That's
the whole
legit.
thing doesn't make sense. Wait, you wake up at 4 a.m., 3 a.m, and your first move because your toe hurts is call 911. Why? Who would do that? But he did.
Yeah, but it didn't hurt yesterday.
Could you not
Maybe
wait
there was a
and call
cobra
somebody
attached to
after
it.
7? But so we go over there. It's like 3 a.m, and this guy's waiting on his porch with his suitcase packed. Never a good sign. And the whole way, and I have to, by law, if you say you want to go to the hospital, we have to take you. We can't say no. And the whole way there, he kept asking, well, is there going to be a report made of this to the FBI? Yeah, I'm going to call
Oh,
J. Edgar
dear.
Hoover personally, buddy. It's like,
Well,
wouldn't
we've
take-
talked about this before, but every time I call 911, it's a false alarm, and it's just
you
some
call
my
you call them
neighbor.
a lot, do you?
No, I quit doing it because one time my
Good.
neighbor was putting speakers in his car at 3 a.m. and I called 911, and it was just my neighbor putting speakers in his car.
What did you say? I don't like that song.
But wait, I remember calling 911 and then going, "Where are my glasses?" And then putting my glasses on and being like, "Oh no."
So what do you just hang up? You just hang
No,
up?
they
Sorry.
showed up and nothing happened.
Well, now
They
if
showed
somebody's
up.
stealing
showed
the
up.
speakers from your car, you should call 911. I'm not sure
I
that
know.
installing speakers
I
is
know.
necessarily, but people call for. I think it's better that people be encouraged to call rather than not call. At least from an EMS standpoint, that was always. I'd rather run. Hey, there's nothing wrong with you, than say you didn't want to call when you should have, and you should have.
Yeah, that's for
And
sure.
particularly older people are like that. We'd find these people who've been laying on the floor for 2 days. Well, I didn't want to bother you. That's what the hell we're here for.
I didn't want to bother you. Wait,
Yeah,
isn't
they
it
would say
very
that.
common for old people to like fall between the toilet and the tub and get stuck?
Oh yeah, sure. That is.
Should
yeah.
always have
We
your
ran a
phone
call
with you.
once.
God, I'm like
Ran a call
I'm
once. The
keeping my
lady was
phone
stuck on the toilet. She was stuck. So, and of course it went
butt
out.
cheek
Of
was
course
stuck
it
in there?
did.
What the-
It was stuck.
She's
on
just
the
sitting there
actual
so long
toilet.
she got sucked in, I guess.
Well,
Like,
I don't
fell
know
asleep.
what there was something happened where she didn't have the strength to stand up, but
Oh, I get yeah.
somehow she made the
Not
call.
funny.
She had
Do
a
your
phone with her.
push-ups, people. Do your push-ups.
Yeah, there you go. Don't let that happen. But it went out to us for some weird reason. It came out as an unknown rescue. So you get 8 firefighters with an axe coming through your door, and there you are stuck on the toilet with your pants down. Hi, how are you? You having a good day?
And then the door screwed up. It's like, dang it.
Yeah, whoopsie. But yeah, another heroic rescue that we performed. Yeah. So it's not
Well,
like
we've got like another 5 minutes. Let's talk about music.
Yeah.
music.
We got any music
Sure.
questions, Paula?
Well,
Ask away.
can you have live music on your show? Do you have the
We're,
capability
we're
to
working
do that?
on that. Yeah, we're working on that. We're letting the technology do that. We hope to. We plan to. Sure. I
You
mean,
need like
radio
a little
coverage.
cool studio.
Well, yes, we do. Gee, where could we find one? Radio Cobra Detroit is a growing, expanding. Yeah, and you guys are welcome. Contribute if you want. Music, shows, whatever. We are looking
So it's a
for our
use it as a platform too to store.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. We're working with another fellow guy named Brian Maloney. He's got a show or a station called Sonic Coast, which is Michigan based, super Michigan centric. It's all Michigan. Well, not all, but it's a lot of Michigan music. Very cool. Darren Ravel, does Big Sonic Heaven.
Yeah.
He's been doing that for a long time, a streaming station. And the more the merrier. Our attitude is let's fill the space with local creators. Our deal on Radio Cobra, you got to have some connection to Detroit. Everybody on our team was born in Detroit, but it's not like a deal. You just got to get it. Like I always hold up the Shinola watch. I say, this is our brand. You could buy a cheaper watch, but it isn't as cool. You could
Yes.
find another radio station or some other piece of online shit, but it ain't as cool. Go
Question:
ahead, Paula.
Is your show like on 24 hours a day?
The radio station is 24/7. Yeah, absolutely. We do a
Awesome.
morning show from 7 till 10 weekdays. That changes every day, and then everybody does. So it's Greg, Ron, and Bruce in the morning. Chuck Santoni middays. Greg Gnip afternoons. Next Gen night service at night, and then our AI Jake the Snake, our automated computer generated snake, does the overnight. Then we have Hot Tub Saturday night. Saturday night starts at 6 with DJ Jamie, and Acoustic Alternatives with John Bomarito, 9 a.m. on Sundays. And if I left anybody out, sorry.
Well, remind everybody how to find you.
I was just going to ask that.
I'm sorry.
How do you find us? You type in radio.
Where are
I'm
you?
mad at you now.
Radio Cobra
How do we
Detroit.
find you?
You got to type in. You can also have
So
Alexa.
just like on
you
your
say
phone?
www.
yeah. There HTT. If you have Alexa, you say start Radio Cobra. Don't say
Backslash,
Detroit with Alexa. It plays it, but it's Alexa start Radio Cobra or play Radio Cobra. Google Play, Apple apps, Radio Cobra Detroit. online, radiocobra.detroit.com. And we have swag. We have some beautiful hoodies you can get in time for the fall weather. We have all kinds of, we're working with some charities that's coming soon. So more to come. And,
Is there going to be a Radio Cobra Maryland?
it's everywhere in the world, but there's only one Detroit, girls. Only one
It'll
Detroit.
be Radio Crab.
It's for sure. I'm trying to get people to come to Detroit. I don't know why.
Who do you want to come to Detroit?
Just
Why
people
not?
to vacation here. I don't. People
yeah.
just don't think of it as a vacation spot. There's so much cool stuff. The
There's like 3,000 miles of coastline.
so many museums.
Motown, Henry Ford.
There are
We
not
have some great
3,000 miles
stuff.
of coastline in Detroit, though, are there, Paula? I think you're talking about
No,
that.
but in Michigan in general. I mean, they could go up to Traverse City and go wine tasting and,
Yeah. Well,
Have a
I'll tell you
Coney?
this.
Do you have conies
I've
there?
been here in D.C. for 23 years, so that's a long time. But I'm still a Detroit guy, and I'm happy about that. And I know Detroiters, expatriates all over the world. You can never take the Detroit out of our DNA, nor would I want
Yeah,
to.
we know there's a lot of them in L.A. because we saw them on
Oh,
TV
yeah.
at that football game.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Hell
look at
yeah, you
our
did.
buddy
Cheering for the
Mike
Lions.
Hirsch from Rhythm Corps. We play Rhythm Corps. He comes back from L.A. to do the show.
Yes,
He's still a
super
Detroit
fun.
kid, even though he's Vince Bannon living out there in Hollywood, living large. He's still a Detroit kind of guy. So,
We had Vince on
yeah.
our show.
Did you? All right. He looks like
Yeah.
Santa Claus or the Travelocity gnome or something with that beard, and you can tell him I said that. But
And we're having Santa Claus on our show in a month.
Yeah, we are.
We're gonna
The
do a
Santa
craft with
Claus?
Santa. We are. The real Santa Claus was going to do a
the
craft
real
with
one,
us.
not none of those fake cheap mall Santas. You're getting the
No.
real one.
No,
no.
God.
I'm tuning in, man. That's it.
Really?
We're all
Paula's
about it.
Paula knows how
I'm
to get
bringing
in touch.
cookies and everything.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
I'll tell you what,
thank you.
if you hook me up with the real Santa, I'll hook you up with Captain Studley. How would that be? I'll get you his
Oh,
number.
wow.
Yes.
Well, Greg, thank you so much for joining us today. It's our first big show back, and we're so happy that you could join us and we could help Radio Cobra Detroit get the word out so people can check it out.
Tune in and
Well,
listen.
thank
Tune
you,
in and
Patty.
listen.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Paula.
Thank you, Greg. We're going to close the show with the live version of the theme song. So,
Hello, hello, hello. It's the Chatty Patty Paula Walla Talk Show. Hello, hello, hello. It's the Chatty Patty Paula Walla. We will talk about the things that mean so much to you, like going to a restaurant or hanging at the zoo. Clothes and sports and funny news, crafts and travel too. Nothing's ever scripted, so expect the unexpected. Hello, hello, hello. It's the Chatty Patty Paula Walla Talk Show. Is it off?
all right, that's it.
Well, that was fast.
you, that
and
was
fun.
Yeah, that's how we like it. Fast and fun.
Fast and fun.
That's the best way to do it, ladies. Tell you what, if you guys want to do something with the platform, let me know. I'm happy to, man. If we can work it out.
All right, we move very slowly. That's why we like to do it live. We